So, if you've ever dated a dismissive avoidant attachment style, you know that they're kind of an enigma. They sort of have this air of mystery about them. They're slow to warm up, they're slow to open up at times. And so, it can leave somebody feeling like they don't really know what the avoidant is actually looking for. In fact, it can even be confusing as to whether or not this person that you're trying to be in a relationship with or you're trying to connect with is even interested in you. And so in today's video, we are going to unpack all of those burning questions that you may have about what the dismissive avoidant is actually looking for, what they're all about. And we are specifically going to dive into some common characteristics of the avoidant attachment style so you can recognize them. But then we're going to talk about through two channels how to really know what their idea of a perfect relationship is. Channel one will be let's look at going down that pathway of seeing what triggers them the most so you know what to avoid and even what to counteract. And channel two, or pathway number two, is we're going to look at the things that they're deeply burning for in relationships, the things that they're really needing and desiring. Because if you ask an avoidant, they'll tell you, I don't have needs from other people. But the reality is that that couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, they absolutely have needs from other people. And we're going to talk about what those are in today's video. So, first and foremost, if you've ever wondered if you're on a date with an avoidant, they often come across early on as maybe a tiny bit standoffish or a little bit closed off and withdrawn. And they tend to be quite rational, quite distant at times, quite practical, slow to warm up in a lot of cases, and they can be a little bit guarded or slower moving. And you may see that there's this emotional disconnect happening there in the background. Now, they're big things, and I'm talking the things that will cause them to run away in the opposite direction in a relationship, even if it takes a little bit of time to really lock in to cause them to do that. The big things they will be the most triggered by in relationships are number one, feeling like somebody is making them feel defective. So, if somebody's really critical, somebody's putting them down, even if it's in small ways, but it's really consistent across time, they're very sensitive to criticism. They won't show it because they're often so stoic, but that is absolutely the case. So you'll see there's this underlying dynamic of them feeling like they're defective, and they take any kind of criticism right as if it's about their character and who they are rather than like a behavior that they had or something they did that could be improved upon. So being mindful about that is really important. Now, this isn't me saying don't communicate your needs. I'm saying absolutely not that, because it's crucial to communicate your needs in a healthy relationship, but how you communicate your needs will matter. So if you say like, "Oh, you never spend enough time with me," versus you say, "Hey, I would love for us to spend more time together this week. Let's plan something fun to do on Sunday." That's called positive framing, and that's how you can communicate your needs without it coming across as criticism. One of many tools or skills that you can use to do that. Other big wounds is if they feel like there's a lot of unsafety, even if it's just volatility, ups and downs. And it doesn't have to be physical unsafety, of course. Most oftentimes, it's like a sense of emotional unsafety that will trigger this off. You'll also see other big core wounds for the avoidant is if they feel trapped. So if they feel like somebody's pressuring them or trying to move too quickly in a relationship, or if somebody's making them feel like they are too vulnerable or not good enough. Okay, so these are some of the core wounds. There's some other ones, but those are some ones that you can just start with knowing, hey, if these things are triggered in a relationship, this person's probably going to go the opposite direction. And so just being mindful about your delivery around things that could make somebody feel like that in regards to the avoidant goes a really long way. Now, I want to go into the actual needs of an avoidant. And I want to be really clear about something important here, which is that a dismissive avoidance needs are actually much more impactful in terms of the way that they receive love than what we talk about in terms of the five love languages. So if you're not familiar with Dr. Gary Chapman's work, he talks about the five love languages. They are physical touch, quality time, words of affirmation, gifts, and acts of service. And these are basically ways that we give and receive love. And it's a great body of work. I love it. But needs are way more important in terms of how we give and receive love. And I'll give you a couple of examples. The first one is I'm somebody with a big quality time love language, but if I sit down and watch television with somebody versus have a deep emotional conversation or just a deep conversation, even intellectual conversation, That's going to make me feel much more connected. I have a big need for emotional connection and for discovery. So if I feel like I'm connecting through communicating and sharing and learning and going deep with somebody on a topic, that's way more impactful than just like the overarching theme of quality time where I could be watching television. Another really good example that relates more to the dismissive avoidance specifically is they actually do care about appreciation and acknowledgement in relationships, and we could call that landing under the umbrella of words of affirmation. They want to hear that if they're making an effort, it's being recognized, it's being acknowledged or appreciated. And so you can look at, words of affirmation as this overarching theme, but for an anxious preoccupied, they'll receive that through validation. They want to be told things like, you look really great. I'm super attracted to you. I love where our relationship's going. I can't wait to spend time with you. Dismissive avoidants actually don't want to be told things like that very much. They see, really big compliments as being a little bit overwhelming, especially in early days. But they want to hear things like, hey, I really noticed you showed up to have that hard conversation. Thank you. Or, hey, I really noticed that you listened to what I said and made an effort. I appreciate that. And those are things that go a very long way. So, when we talk about needs, in my opinion, this is the greatest way that we give and receive love is through the exchange of needs being met. So when we look at this a little more deeply, well, we have some really important stuff here. We have that appreciation and acknowledgement are really big needs of the avoidant. By the way, just really quickly before I tell you the other like 7 or 8 here, if you want to discover your needs or do a course about learning needs fully for free for a limited time, I will put a link to that course down below so you can check it out. So appreciation, acknowledgement, absolutely huge. Autonomy, independence, freedom, you guessed it, right? Those are the obvious ones. They want to know that those needs that they have are going to be respected and supported. Like, oh, you need time alone? Cool, do your thing on Sunday. That's great. I support that. But let's also have time Friday, So if you can have that communication and exchange of holding space for each other's needs, that goes a long way. But here are the really big ones, okay? The really big ones are acceptance, support, and understanding. These are like the things that are bees to honey for a dismissive avoidant, even if they don't show it. If they feel really accepted by you, like a total absence of judgment, and if they feel supported and understood, they feel like safe and comfortable. That there's such big things that they need. Also, harmony in a relationship is something they're generally seeking in a big way. Peace, having the sense of certainty, stability, and safety in the connection are important as well. So these are the big needs. And this is how, if these things are met and those wounds and fears are avoided, this is the dismissive avoidance idea of a perfect relationship. If you're interested in helping make a huge impact on other people's lives while also building financial freedom, I'm offering an early bird 50% discount on our integrated attachment theory relationship certification program that will help you become a certified integrated attachment theory relationship coach and build your own thriving practice by the end of 12 weeks. This 12-week on-demand program will help you kickstart your new career by teaching you revolutionary tools and strategies that help clients transform their lives and relationships. Build your own coaching practice and set yourself up for a waitlist of clients and financial success. Even if you have no coaching experience, this program will give you very in-depth tools, resources, and confidence to get started in a matter of weeks. And you can learn more information by clicking the link down below. So take and do with that what you will. Make sure you're making space and time for yourself and your needs to be seen and heard and understood too. That happens through healthy communication. And if you enjoyed today's video or enjoy this channel, please like, share, and subscribe. I would super appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching.